really not right. The way the computer works is it shows me some things that it kind of filters out the reflections in the room. And from now, I'm going to try to ignore the things that I know are anomalies of the room that are reflections, because those things tend to go away when the place is full of people, because people absorb the sound, as opposed to now it's all plastic seats and glass and hard surfaces. But the fact is, again, it's an educated guess till the show starts. I mean, we'll take our best educated guess, make a lot of powerful measuring tools, but it's a very chaotic system, and it's hard to predict exactly what's going to happen, at least in an afternoon. Most of what we're reading is the response, the frequency response of this system in this room, which is actually pretty good today. Lucky us. So, what we have now is we're going to play back the band playing Subdivisions at the last show. So Subdivisions is one song that sort of has all the elements. That is drums, guitar, bass, and then keyboards, which is sort of overarching everybody, whoever plays back a sample at any point during the show. And then I have my dB meter. So we run this up until it's show volume, which is, in this case, for these guys, 102 dB. We'll see what that sounds like. So we'll turn this up, and then we'll go in here and we'll go through each section of the PA. This is the top part of the PA, this is the middle part of the PA, the bottom of the PA, the front fills. We have all these modules to the side. Each time we open one up, you can see there's a place to do EQ on it here. And we'll walk around the whole room and tune the PA, each section of the PA, to the band playing Subdivision. We just take it to the point where instead of, bass and treble, we've got, pretty much every frequency from the lowest you can hear to actually even above what you can hear. So we can control that a lot more fine level and in different parts of the room. But it's still just bass and treble. Okay, give that a shot. I went to college to learn how to do that, We spent approximately a month in a rehearsal studio here in Toronto in April and May. The band, learning the songs, because people may not realize the band has to learn the songs. And also, while concurrent with that, Brent and I making the presets for the mix, which is pretty much done in about 3 weeks or so. After that, we bring the band into a small arena, put the PA up, and then there's some further refinement, obviously. That's a little different than listening to it on small speakers in a small room. And so the whole process for this band, 6 to 7 weeks, more or less. Some bands can knock it out more quickly, but This is complicated. What these guys are doing is complicated. There's a lot of, bass player playing keyboards, and the guitar player is also playing pedals, and Neil's got all kinds of little sample things that he hits and triggers, and it's not quite like 5 guys chunking out guitar chords.
Okay, Jack. As the monitor guy, usually about 90% of my job is listening to the lead singer's ear monitor mix and making sure, above all, the vocal can be heard. To be quite honest, monitoring is sometimes it can be a little tedious because I don't get to listen to what I want to listen to. I have to listen to what they want to hear, and I don't get to make choices for me, and even Brad, to a point, gets to decide at front of house how loud the kick drum is, what's the tonality of the bass guitar, how much high end to put on the guitars, how loud to make the vocal. He gets to make those kind of artistic decisions, and I really don't. I get to make sure that Alex and Ged and Neil can hear themselves and all the elements of our show that they need to perform the show. Each guy hears pretty dramatically different things. Alex predominantly takes a big guitar-driven rock mix, just big loud drums and loud vocals and loud guitars especially. Geddy takes a little more demure mix. It's got a little bit of everything in it, all the foot samples and the keyboards and the guitars, everything is there, but it's a lot lower, and it's not nearly as heavily guitar driven as Alex's. And Neil pretty much is just drums and anything that is a timing reference. Anytime there's a rhythmic sequence, such as in like the pianos at the end of Spirit of Radio, anything that's a rhythmic sequence where it has to be kept time to, he has to hear that to make sure that he's spot on with the samples. Because this band, unlike some bands, I'm not going to say any names, but some like other bands I've worked for, do not use a click track of any kind. All their timing is done based on what they're playing with each other and what they can hear from the samples. That's a pretty tall spot on the talent ladder to reach, really, to play the complicated patterns that they do and the way they play together without any kind of click or any kind of constant timing reference. Really requires a good bit of talent, more than most bands I've ever worked for.
Still ahead, we check out the sound check.
During the course of the day, I do this twice. Each of the guys in the band wears a set of these in their ears, just like I do. And during the 3.5 hours of the show and the half hour of sound check or whatever, they stick them in their ears and they get nasty, because your ears do nasty things sometimes. So anyway, I take these little cleaning cloths and wipe technical little cleaning cloths, and just clean the ear monitors like this so that they're nice and sterile and clean when they put them in their ears. And just in case one of them might have an ear fungus or an ear infection or something, I try to prevent that, because an ear infection means Rockstar not happy, which means Brent not happy, which means nobody happy. So we do what we can to keep things like this clean and sanitary as much as we can and deliver them to our musicians and keep them happy and clean and healthy. During the course of the show, you can see that each song has multiple snapshots. On this console, it's called a snapshot, and that's the beginning of the show. And for instance, at the beginning of Limelight, Alex comes in with the loud guitar, the guitar riff we all know and love, dun 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 dun, and he goes through that 4 times. Neil needs to hear that for his timing reference, to be able to click in with what they're doing together. But then after that section is over, Neil doesn't really want to hear the rest of the guitar, the rhythm guitar, the whole time. He doesn't want to hear it as loud anyway. So I hit this button and it goes to the second snapshot I have for Limelight, which then turns the guitar down in